Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And we're back, and we're doing things now that, we're done with live action things, and we're done with, doing final thoughts on things. It's time to have more final thoughts on things, because we've been putting this one off for a bit. We're going to talk Magia Record, Season 3, Final Season, Season 2, Part 2, whatever you want to call this thing. It's the end of the series as a whole, and we might as well get around to that stuff. Real quick, before we get really started, I needed to ask, one of us had predicted that the sister was the cat. Who was that?
Me.
Okay.
That was me.
I owe you a donut.
I called it.
too.
As soon as it came up, I was like, aha! I knew it!
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I said that too. I
Okay.
can't remember what discussion, but I think I said
It
too.
was like the first discussion that I said that.
All right, Chibi, I owe you a donut or something.
Good.
So, yeah, it's 4 episodes essentially, and this
and the
is
first episode's basically backstory.
Yeah, it's the classic Generabuchi flashback. Let's tell the entire backstory of what happened right now, sort of thing. It's kind of like the Homura flashback from episode 11, I think. Yeah, 11. And yeah, we had one of those last season too, I think. Yachio's thing. So it gives us the backstory of the Magius triad, whatever, duo thingy. We get to learn about the 2 girls in the hospital and Yui and how Iroha became a magical girl and, she made a deal with QB, as you do. And then, the people who wanted to save the Madoka figure decided we're going to take the powers of QB and become gods ourselves, as you do. And then it horribly backfired on everyone, as it always does. And yeah, and that's how we got to where we are. I really gotta ask, is QB allowed to say no to anyone? This is twice that we've seen him grant a wish that is very counterintuitive to what he would want things to do.
I almost feel like Cube.
He seems... No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, he seemed pretty damn hesitant.
Yeah, but he still did it.
Though.
I almost feel like his species is one step away from a computer android program like HAL 9000, where they're programmed to do whatever it takes to get the entropy or whatever they call it to power the universe. So whatever it takes.
I get that, but I feel like HAL 9000 wouldn't do something that would be detrimental to his mission, as these wishes tend to be.
I think if they've decided to make a wish and make a deal with him, after he says, do you want to make a deal, he has to grant whatever wish they ask.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
For a super intelligent alien race that helped us through our own evolution, that's dumb.
Maybe he's programmed that way by whoever. I don't know.
But they're all a hive mind thing. He's not constantly giving signals back to command hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe the hive mind's no, yeah, go through. Someone is asleep at the wheel, is all I'm saying.
Maybe they're like the
I don't know,
Borg.
but
They
that
just
seems
got
like-
one shared brain cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was a big brain cell. I could be wrong.
Might just not care.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we figure out where baby QB came from. It's a hollowed out husk of a QB after its powers were siphoned off, and then they stuffed Iroha's soul into it because she couldn't handle collecting all the evil negative emotions that every magical girl was feeling. This is kind of like
You
the
mean
roundabout sort of thing that Madoka did.
Uis?
Yeah, Ui.
Yeah,
Yui?
there you go.
Sorry.
Please, Ui.
It's just 2 vowels. I'm this isn't a name. Anyway, not little Madoka is pretending to be real Madoka, in that she wanted to essentially be a god, but didn't take all the extra powers that you need to be a god while collecting all the negative emotions of the entire world. So, it backfires, and she turns into a monster, and also gets her soul split up, and then everyone forgets her when she gets stuffed into a QB, except for the girl in the wheelchair. And then there was also that other girl, the green hair girl, Alina, who keeps using English, and I hate it. And Yeah, she's just there. What is her backstory?
I don't remember
I
her
remember.
at all.
You know, they're
remember
trying to build her up as like the
but-
surprise main villain at the end of the show, and I completely forgot about her.
Yeah, it's surprising in the same way that the Riddler was surprising in Hush, because that's stupid.
Yeah, it just fell out of nowhere because they didn't give her enough in the beginning for it to have any impact now.
She genuinely just seemed like top henchman to me.
Like, she needed, like, to have her own little episode.
Yeah.
Maybe after they revealed that, like, hey, she's kind of a big bad here. Like, they needed to, like, develop her more.
Yeah, they established
in order for
like,
her to have any impact.
nothing about her, and then at the end she's just like, hey, let's burn the world down. I'm like, okay, it's a simple enough motivation that I don't feel like I need a ton of backstory, but like literally anything about you would have been great.
I mean, I think, again, this is one of those cases where this anime is definitely made for people who've actually played the game.
Yes, and that's not me.
Yeah, I feel like anyone, at least over here in America, who's actually, like, fully played the game for whatever they had before they shut down the servers, like, I feel like they would probably have a better grasp of what her whole deal is, but...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now they just seem like Datara. But Datara seemed more fleshed out because he got way more episodes.
True.
Mm.
Yeah. Anywho, so the whole flashback thing, now Iroha remembers Ui, and now everyone remembers Ui, but they're still going to go through with everything because they're like, we were doing it for you and Ui, and now we have to go kill every magical girl in the city to get enough energy to build a barrier that cuts off all the incubators from the hive mind or something. This kind of goes into like that area that I think the end of Madoka and Rebellion and some other places went, where it's like, I feel like maybe I could get this a little more in English, but like, it's like reading all of this like exposition dump about your plan and the metaphysics of it all, and I'm just like, I'm lost. I'm very lost.
Madoka,
right now.
The end of regular season Madoka was easy enough to explain, and once I've come around to Rebellion, I just wasn't a fan of what they did at the end of the movie, but I at least understood it after, we talked about it. But yeah, this whole thing is just like trying to cram a mobile game that probably is like dozens of hours long. Granted, most of it's probably grinding, but like you're trying to condense maybe a 20-hour story into how many episodes, and it's so discombobulated with so many side characters. It's kind of like, number one, I forget half of these characters existed.
Oh,
and number
thank
two,
God. I thought it was the only one.
And number two,
exactly.
they really don't explain enough to like make you fully invested.
So,
True.
I'm not
That's why I
really sure the
didn't
game
finish
could
it.
even be the kind of game that you can grind, to be honest. Because I have played it. It's not that kind of game.
Yeah, it's like a gacha game, which explains, like, I think we talked about this. It explains why there's so many characters, but at the same time, it's like, I don't care about any of you. I don't even remember your names.
There's not even, like, a free roam mode.
Oh my God. Yeah, and I'm wondering
So
if
it's
it
just,
do well here.
like, chapter by chapter. It's like you go through, you click on the mission, it'll take you through the story. You have a fight with,
With a monster.
the Uwasa or the Rumors or whatever you're fighting at that point. And basically, it's just you gaining, like, gems and points and things in order so you can actually play the gacha game and then also buy stuff.
Yeah.
I heard that the ending was different in the game,
I'm assuming they condensed it
but
or
I'm
did
not
something.
sure what it was.
Does a gacha game end? Gacha games don't end.
I guess it had
So-
chapters.
They have a lot of characters. They also have, like, a lot of different skins. So you get, like, new cards. So it's, like, different graphics of, like, people in, like, different outfits. They, like, have events for different holidays and things. Because I do actually remember when, like, I was going through, like, the Tumblr tags for Magia Record, that they would, like, have events quite a bit. And, like, people would just be like, oh, I got this one, I got this one, I got this new one too. And it'd be, like, different rankings for, like, different ones that you, like, managed to get when you pulled the gacha. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
Yeah,
It's just so convoluted.
Yeah.
a little bit.
I feel like it would have really been better if they had just taken like 4 or 5 of the gotcha characters and focused on them. Like, we don't need all of them. I know maybe people were happy to see all of them, but it just is very confusing and makes for a convoluted story.
Oh no, trust me, we got a minimum. We got a minimum.
Yeah, I know they probably still cut out a bunch of people, but I just wanted them to cut even more, honestly.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
So then what's going to happen in a couple years? Will they inevitably announce a Genshin Impact anime?
No.
Well,
no.
Hold up.
Because there are regions where they go to like I feel like
anthology series.
I feel like some of the characters can absolutely be cut, but like the main
I think for me with something like Genshin, you might just need to like have their own storylines for each set, but also just kind of like make sure like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
almost
just
like you
keep
have
the
to
characters that are in the AYoN story and then ignore or just have cameos of people like Bennett or Diona or people who don't really feature in the AYoN story and just make like season 1 is Mondstadt, season 2 is Liyue, stuff like that.
Okay.
I think it would honestly probably work better as like books, to be honest.
I could see them making books too, but I mean, yeah, inevitably it'll probably get an anime like Azur Lane and stuff did. But...
Honestly, I haven't seen the show yet, but I feel like the best way to go is like what they did with Arcane, focused on different characters from League of Legends, but like tell its own grounded story to where you can watch it without having never playing the game.
That would be kind of cool.
Standalone episodes, or you get like 1 to 3 episodes for a singular standalone arc, beginning, middle, end with. So
you're
one
saying
character.
Don't even focus on Traveler or anything. Like...
Well, does Traveler have a personality?
No.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, you just focus on your story about person, and then maybe have some cameos from some other people or whatever, and then you like do a couple things, and then beginning, middle, end, their story's done. Then you go on to another person, and the same thing.
That could work too. I don't know. Anyway,
back to
other
back
than
to this.
crafting a Genshin series.
Yeah, whatever. Who is it? MiHoYo, or are they like done?
It's HoYoverse now. I don't know.
Hit us up. Hit us up, HoYo. We got ideas. Yeah, so... So our main group of magical girls are fighting, but there's also Yachio's former group that are fighting stuff, and then everyone starts turning into witch doppel hootenanny, and then a short white-haired girl and a girl with a blonde ponytail turn into crystals.
We don't even know who they are.
They were in there. I don't remember their names, but they were somehow connected to Yachio.
But how did they become magical healing spirits?
Okay. They were, I think they were part of Yachio's former group. I think they were her friends before the current ones.
There was a falling out, there was a betrayal, there was something. Don't give a shit.
But can someone please answer...
So...
what happened there?
I think this is like a Kyoko situation from the first season, where she like used all of her magic at once to try to blow up Sayaka, and she killed herself in the process.
But I don't remember her becoming a healing spirit.
So there are different routes you can take. It's magic. It's transformative.
We're just gonna accept it.
It's magic.
Okay.
You can be like, hey, I'm either gonna blast you to hell, or I'm going to take on all of your pain and suffering, and then implode upon myself.
So just whatever you want to happen.
Yeah, that's magic. You make wishes. Anything you want to... It's a miracle. You're really trying to put, like, hard and fast rules to magic? There isn't any.
All right.
You've seen the animation for these witches. There's no hard and fast rules of logic.
I'll accept it.
You heard their explanation for what they were doing. There's no hard and fast rules for logic. So yeah, they turn into crystal spirits, save all the magical girls, explode in the process. Everyone's fine, and is now going to go fight the giant Mothra creature that is trying to eat Walpurgisnacht. And the whole time I'm thinking like, oh my god, giant witch kaiju fight. And I did not get that, and I'm a little pissed, if I'm going to be honest. But, yeah, they go ride a magical grief seed rocket. Not a grief seed rocket yet. They go ride a magical super link up, power up weapon ship to the Moth, and then the power of friendship. Aroha uses the power of friendship to convince her little sister's 2 hospital roommates that they should not try to kill everyone in the city so that they could save the world with a flawed system that turns you into mini witches.
I like how you skipped the gray-haired girl.
Who's the gray-haired girl?
Who turned into a witch and died.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Not Homura.
Yeah.
Broke through the barrier and turned into a witch because she sucks and she thinks that she sucks, but Aroha tried to save her but couldn't, put her down, and then goes to help everybody.
Was there a purpose to her?
She became a grief seed that they then used to help blow up the Moth at the end?
I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, after they decide that friendship is magic, Alina Ingrish Gray jumps in and is like, hey, you don't want to do this anymore? Well, you guys wanted to make it so that no one could be magical girls, but now I'm going to make it so everyone's magical girls and everyone becomes a witch because no one can get out of the blah, blah, blah. I'm going to blow up the world. Let's watch the world burn. And I think we were saying something like, she's turning into Syndrome. It's like, and when everyone's magical, no one will be.
No, you see, Syndrome actually had development as a villain.
Yeah.
He was fun. He was a lot of fun.
He was a good villain.
Yeah, it's like we needed one like that. Anywho, I mean, part of the big thing of Madoka is, weirdly enough, there's not supposed to be a villain.
Yeah.
It's like the
really
villain
not.
is supposed to be depression, I guess.
Kyubey, I don't know.
Well,
arguably.
I think there's a real argument to that.
He's not doing it with malicious intent, I think is the thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like to make him a true villain, he'd have to, be doing it with the purpose of actually trying to harm people. But honestly, it's kind of like he's sort of more neutral, and just like what he is doing just so happens to have negative effects on the people that benefit him and the rest of the universe. So
I don't know if I would agree that all villains have to have a purpose of harming people. I feel like a lot of the time they have ambitions to help people. What was that?
Oh, you're talking like Road to Hell kind of thing?
Yeah, like Road to Hell's like the greater good. I feel like that's kind of how Kyubey is, where it's like, this is for the greater good. Like the trolley experiment or whatever.
Yeah,
but
you kind of mentioned that while we were watching it. Yeah.
I guess for me, I just never think of like someone who's necessarily villainous, like having that sort of mindset. I just see them as like an antagonist.
I guess that's what I mean, like a villain and an antagonist are similar in their positions.
Like it's kind of weird to have Madoka have a now villain.
Like
of someone who actually just wants to hurt
characters. Which,
because Alina is a malicious character at this point. And we never had that, because normally it's just like the antagonist is either QB or just dealing with your negative emotions.
Right.
Or like another magical girl, but that's more rivalry thing.
Yeah. Like, I think they were trying to do something with, like, instead of, we have to kill witches or do that, they were like, what if we all just support each other? Then we won't all turn into monsters. Don't give in to your doppel. Let me help you out and you'll help me out.
But they
and
inevitably will anyway.
And didn't say it made sense.
So it's like nothing was accomplished, let's be honest.
I'm just saying what they were trying to do with it.
It's a nice thought.
Anyway, Greenie gets inside the Moth and is like, now the Moth has my face and I'm gonna go eat Walpurgisnacht. Because 2 black holes swirling each other will eventually collapse into each other and explode. Or something like that. There's some kind of like... That was an image they used, I guess. Interesting. That's an observable event, I suppose.
I mean, they usually 2 black holes make bigger black hole. That's not even an argument.
Super black hole that absorbs everything and causes gravitational shockwaves throughout the world, throughout the universe. But besides that, they fire a giant grief seed rocket at her, blow her up while also hugging her face. I don't know. There was like some sort of weird imagery in that explosion. Blows her up. everybody's saved, no more doppel thingy, everyone's back to normal. Homura goes back in time, because, I mean, this timeline just sucked for her. And, yeah, now we're all magical girls doing our magical best.
But they're all gonna be witches anyway.
Well, them's the pits. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I guess.
It's like,
Just feels like it kind of just ended with an
I remember
happens.
when we were talking about season 2 a couple years ago, or last year, however long it's been, and one of the comments in our video said the ending has a satisfying ending, and I wasn't completely satisfied. I was just kind of like, oh, big giant fight. I liked the first episode a lot, but that's because it actually had development.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they might have been going for, maybe it was they were saying that the game had a satisfying ending.
Yeah, I don't know whether they were commenting before the actual season came out, so...
Oh, that's true. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. They were like, here's what we think is going to happen, and then they were wrong. This is an anime-only ending. Oh god, this is an anime-only ending.
Yeah.
Is this really an anime-only ending?
Well, if it's based on a game and they didn't do the same ending as they did in the game, then I would say that, yeah, this is an anime-only ending.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yep. Anywho, but, like, honestly, you were saying, like, this doesn't end with, like, a happy ending, it just ends with an eh. Like, every Madoka thing ends with an eh.
No, I felt weirdly, like, in a bittersweet way, satisfied.
Oh, you were going eh.
With the original Madoka ending.
Okay.
Because I feel like she accomplished something. It was like, through becoming God, she kind of fixed it, even though it kind of fucks up
well,
Homura,
I was talking about where Homura ends up, because by the end, she's the main character, it feels like.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't end up at square one. I feel like this show, it's just like they're back to square one.
Homura absolutely ends up at square one.
Okay, I'm talking about Madoka in, like, the world,
Madoka's a MacGuffin. It doesn't matter.
I'm not talking about Homura. I feel like Homura is screwed because she only cares about Monica in the end.
That's
but
true,
Monica
and that's
cares
rebellion,
about
but...
everybody else, too,
Yeah, but I feel like we still end up at net zero every single one of these series. Because no matter what...
How did Madoka Magica end up at net zero?
Because no matter what, even if you're not dealing with witches and the cycle of witches, you still got, like, negative emotions and rates and all that sort of stuff.
No,
There's
you're right,
still
but
elements
she
of it.
still accomplished something. Like, what did they accomplish in this one that wasn't there in step one?
Nothing?
Yeah.
But also no one remembers who Madoka is other than Homura, so ultimately
But
they
it
didn't accomplish
doesn't
anything
matter.
either.
She sacrificed
It's
herself.
nihilism.
It doesn't matter if nobody remembers who she is.
It's nihilist, and they dethroned God.
For one thing, I'm just talking about the series right now. I'm not talking about Rebellion.
That is funny. Homura literally dethrones God. So, yeah.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they end up where they started.
Yeah.
So did the last series. I'm sorry, it did. Homer is back at square one. Homer is the main character of Madoka Magica. I know she's the title character, but she is not the main character. Same way that Haruhi Suzumiya is not the main character of that show. It's KYoN.
Spoilers.
He's the only perspective that you go from episode 1. It's not a spoiler.
Yeah, this is also just common knowledge at this
Madoka
point.
Magica's been out since
It's
2010.
not. I didn't know it. I'm not talking about Madoka. I didn't know anything about Haruhi. I know the dance. That's about it.
It's a show about a guy who meets a girl and the shenanigans that she gets him into.
In more
I think
ways
with
than
Madoka
one.
Magica, the thing is, Homura was not the perspective character from the first episode. We didn't know what was going on with Homura before. So it does feel like there was change throughout the story. Whereas this one, it feels like nothing changed. Like nothing progressed or happened. Even if there was regression, there was nothing. You know?
I mean, Ui's dead.
Ui's dead. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Ui was dead before.
No. Okay. That's the ending. That's the different ending. So, the sister
Ui's
turns back
not
to
dead
normal.
again?
Wait, I thought she was gone.
No, in the game ending, she goes back to normal.
Oh,
okay.
anime only. It always sucks.
Yeah, they just were like...
I am
let's
reading the
just kill
Wikipedia
Ui.
page.
Okay.
It says here, last line of arc 1. Iroha successfully reverts Ui back to her normal form, and the Valpurgis Noct is finished off by a combined attack by Yachio and Iroha.
So you're telling me they actually accomplished something in the game.
That would be the least Genarabuchi thing to do, though.
Yeah. He also did not make the game.
Yeah, people don't get happy endings in Genarabuchi.
I don't want a happy ending. I said Madoka Magica to me had a bittersweet ending.
Fair.
I don't agree with you that there was no progression in the end of Madoka Magica.
You know what they did? They stopped everyone on the world from dying. A bit of an accomplishment, even if ultimately this timeline means nothing in the larger grand scheme of things.
It doesn't.
It'll be erased whenever Madoka rewrites reality.
You mean Homer?
I guess she kept a record of it.
Madoka rewrites reality, and then Homer rewrites it after that. Know your order of things.
Oh, and then I see what happens with Arc 2, which is not in the anime.
Oh, there's an Arc 2. More happens after this?
This is just the brief blurb from the Wikipedia page. The magical girls of Kamihama City forms an alliance called the Kamihama Union.
Okay, they mentioned that.
Meanwhile, Iroha deals with the Kimochi, a new kind of creature distinct from Uwasa and witches. The Blood Promise, another group of magical girls from outside the city, come to Kamihama to exact their grievances. Whatever that is.
It's the airing of
the
grievances.
Magius also regroup as the Neo-Magius. What?
Okay.
No.
Okay, so second verse same as the first. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
I don't know. It's just convoluted, and this is why I don't like Magia Record. Sorry, guys.
Fair.
I mean,
I thought the first season was pretty good.
First
I liked
season's not
it.
bad.
I thought it was solid.
was
Set up a
fine.
decent mystery. The introduction of characters was a lot, but at the very least we got to know most of them throughout a lot of
kind
this.
of.
I think. Go ahead.
I think one of the strong suits of the original Madoka Magica was that you really cared about the 4 main characters.
5.
That's
5 main characters. I'm sorry, I forgot Mommy. But
How?
because she dies really early. But I think even to some extent Mommy, you care when she dies, and
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
you care about all these people because they each have their own arc and they each have enough attention on them because there aren't 30 of them. And I feel like it just, you don't feel anything for these ones. And that's why even their depression
The only character I really
matter.
cared about in this show was Yachio, to tell you the
She's
truth.
the only one anybody remembers.
Well, you remembered not Madoka.
Not Madoka. So
Yeah.
it's they're going through a lot, in terms of their emotions and overcoming, all this depression and failure and stuff, but I don't care because it's who was she again? Whereas the original one, I actually, legitimately cared about the characters.
Yeah, I was briefly talking about Magia Record with one of my friends, and we were both saying that another problem with Magia Record versus the original Madoka Magica is that in Madoka Magica it's almost you kind of don't know what you're going into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is with it starts out cute and it gets weird, and that's a good a really great aspect of Madoka. But with Magia Record, it just starts out weird from the beginning because it's a continuation or a side story of Madoka, so it's doesn't have that same charm that Madoka Magica has.
Yeah.
Also, I looked it up. Gen Orabuchi did not write the anime at all. He was one of the writers of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, he is nowhere in the credits for this anime, so.
Well, there you go.
The original creators of Madoka Magica, Magia Quartet, were the ones that created the game, or at least wrote it, so...
They do a lot of, the other side materials, all the mangas and everything, so that's not really a surprise. Also, Magia Quartet is more or less, they own the entire IP, so...
Yeah.
So... I'm trying to think here as far as who were these people?
Yachio.
Like, I feel like we talked about this a little bit at one point. This is like the same problem Eternals had.
If.
It's like, if you just condensed a little bit, you'd probably be fine. Heck, you can condense some of the stories even. Like, I'm sure like a lot of these stories were the actual stories for the characters in the game and whatnot. And people were like, oh, okay. But, yeah, like, I feel like some of them could have been left off exactly where we left them.
Didn't they add Kuroe? Wasn't she not in the game?
I think she was there.
Oh.
Let me look.
Because I'm like, why would you add a character if that's true? There are already too many, so I hope it's wrong.
Like, Kuroe was not, showed up and then
yeah, no, she only appears in the anime.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, she's pointless. She shows up and is not there for, like, the longest time. And shows up at the end, I'm like, I don't know who you are and I don't care.
And then she just dies.
And then you have, like, the red and blue lesbians, and I'm like, you know what, your story was over a while ago. I don't care anymore. And then you have, like, these 40 other characters who, like, if you're part of the main group, fine, you can stick around, but it's like ponytail girl and gray-haired ponytail girl and white-haired short hair girl and how many other fucking people?
They could have combined some characters.
It's like, I don't know what your deal is, and I don't care at this point. Honestly, I've lost any interest in Greatest Magical Girl of All Time with the fans and Hammer Time. I don't even, like, who are they?
Who was Hammer Time?
The one with the big hammer.
Alicia.
I guess she, like, had trouble finding a group was her thing.
You know, it's sad when, at least in my opinion, the best episode of the whole series had nothing to do with this show's cast, but was basically the episode with the original cast and how they got into the plot.
I mean, they were the most well-rounded characters in this show and theirs. This, you know, oh my god, this was the Book of Boba Fett.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Y'all. Here,
This was like Book of Boba Fett, where the best episodes were the Mandalorian Season 2.5 episodes.
Oh god.
Here's the thing, guys. You know Yachio's backstory about how she wanted to survive modeling?
Yeah.
Here's what I am finding. Her contract originated when she was 12.
Okay. Holy shit,
she
do magical girls age? So we can confirm this.
Oh.
Wow.
I was going to say, isn't she like 19?
Yeah.
Hold up. It's anime. People at the age of 10 look like they're 23 already. This confirms nothing.
But I thought she was in, like, college or something. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, she was.
So, like, wouldn't they be questioning if she was a 12-year-old, like, going to college?
So
I'm just saying...
I don't think she's 12.
Just because she is an age doesn't mean that, like, she grew older physically, is what I'm saying.
So you think she's still physically 12?
I mean, I would
Apparently
say
Daki's 13. I don't know.
I would say she's probably aged, only because, like, she got tall.
Okay.
Unless she's a very tall 12-year-old. But I don't know.
That's
I get
possible.
the sense that she is designed to look older than some of the others.
She is. She's the mom figure. Definitely.
So, like, I feel like they would emphasize it if she was meant to look like she's stuck at 12, you know? Because they would emphasize it as something tragic or whatever.
That's fair. That's fair.
So maybe they age.
Maybe they age. I feel that was one of the big questions. I guess this kind of also answers another question that we've had of, like, if a soul gem is removed from someone, could you put it in something or someone else?
Yeah.
Sort of not exactly what I was looking to find out, like whether you could, like, put one magical girl's soul gem into another magical girl's body, but you could put it in an empty cubie, which I guess is something.
It's a vessel.
It just ends up erasing you from history, which sucks. Counterintuitive.
Yeah, is it worth it?
Definitely not.
What if you just put it in, like, a random corpse?
I don't know.
Would you get
and
erased
these are the
from
questions.
history?
These are the questions. Like, part of it is like, you know, you'd have to have your body be destroyed without it destroying the soul gem, which is difficult. But yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be like you'd have to do this as an experiment. It couldn't happen naturally, I don't think. Because if you lost your entire body and then realized you were just the soul gem, I think you would fall into despair and then become the witch.
Probably.
So it would have to be like someone is intentionally like, hey, you're going to die, so don't fall into despair when you do that. When your body is destroyed, we're going to put you in a different body. We're going to try to. And if you do end up doing that, I guess we'll just kill you whenever you inevitably turn into a witch.
Just don't fall into despair, okay, thanks.
I mean, they've done experiments on magical girls before. That's the whole thing in Rebellion.
True.
She isolated herself from Madoka to see what would happen. And then bad things happened. I'm not saying anything good would come out of this experiment.
Probably not.
But
it would backfire.
We at least have some basis for a hypothesis. And that's science, which has no meaning here at all, because magic doesn't make sense. Science is for Dr. Stone.
You're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Except how the generations lived on.
No, yeah, that doesn't make sense. If we ever talk about Dr. Stone, we'll get to that.
Anyway.
It's pretty solid, except for, like, one aspect. Yeah, I don't know. What else? Did anything else happen? Am I missing anything? Aside from every person's name and why anything happened?
No, I think you pretty much covered how I felt. I mean, obviously the animation was still pretty good. Like, that's something I'll give.
Stunning.
Yeah, I'll give Shaft that. Like, they worked their butt off on the animation. But, yeah, it's just the story and the characters I just really wasn't that invested in, to tell you the truth.
I hate to say, I think maybe part of the problem was how late this came out after the other...
Yeah.
This is not a separate season. This is literally,
this is
episodes 9 through 12 of season 2.
I imagine that there was production issues from the pandemic, so...
Guaranteed. And that's unfortunate. And it kind of sucks because, like, yeah, I feel like your audience is going to drop off a little bit and be like, oh, I forgot what's happening. I can't remember all these characters that I only saw for 8 episodes and then had months between the thing. Like, had they not run into the production issues, had something else happened, like, I might have felt differently about this having watched it directly after season 2. So, yeah. But it is what it is at this point. I don't know that I'm going to go back and rewatch it.
We'll just wait for movie 4.
Oh,
True.
That would be lovely. See what happens, if anything happens. Who knows what could happen? Anyway, I think that's about it for this week. Talk about next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so not to get into yet another little special section of things, but we were like kind of talking about a couple weeks ago about like, hey, what's like an underrated anime, or what's something like that, like an anime that you like that you don't feel like a lot of people talk about or did talk about. So we're gonna start looking at some of those. These are our underrated recommendations, I guess we could call them. Yeah. So I think each of us picked one, and we're gonna like go week to week and see what we're gonna, because like I think most of the ones we picked, everyone else hasn't really seen them, or has at least not seen a whole lot of them.
I think at least half of us hasn't seen each one.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of nice to introduce some people to something that like maybe you really enjoy, or maybe something that someone else really enjoys that you didn't know about. I think we're starting with mine next week. I chose a show called Samurai Flamenco. It is so bizarrely entertaining. Like, it's a superhero show that really loves superhero shows. And we're probably only going to watch 3 episodes. But I'm definitely going to encourage you guys to watch more than that, because it takes so many twists and turns out of nowhere. It's kind of great. I kind of love it. And I'm hoping you guys enjoy it too. So yeah, next week, Samurai Flamenco. We'll announce the next recommendation after that and keep going like that until who knows what may happen. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!